Okay, so I saw this, while researching podcasts, I saw the stupid video of this NFL player, Jason Brown, who quit his job in the NFL to farm food, which is a lovely story. And this was the end of the news piece, and it made me laugh, if only for the light homophobia.
In this neck of North Carolina.
Love is the most wonderful currency that you can give anyone.
You sure you played in the NFL?
Yes.
Because I feel like cuddling you right now.
Don't do that.
Jason may have left the NFL, but apparently holding is still a penalty.
Oh my God. Man, that is terrible.
That made me laugh alone in my room at 3 in the morning so much. I hope it caught over.
Maybe the newscaster just isn't his type. Come on. What an asshole. He turned me down.
What an asshole. Back to you, Jen. Hi, welcome to Laser Time, the internet's 4th leading pop culture show. I am Christopher Antista. Who else do we have with us?
I'm Dave, don't cuddle me, Rudden.
GamingBasement.com.
And
Tyler Child.
Tyler Child. None of those are their real names, but we'll all plug their Twitters at the end, I hope. I think we're entering December. If I'm I might be in Japan right now.
Well, it's already December in Japan.
Is it? Oh,
yes.
fuck.
Yeah, that's
oh,
right.
fuck.
There's that 7-week delay.
So I wanted to talk this is going to piss people off, because I think they always hate it. We talk about Christmas. It's time for Christmas, and you guys know how I'm gay for Christmas, and I don't think...
Hey, don't cuddle with Christmas.
Dave, you seem to be the most mushy and sentimental person here. I can see you caring about Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart is growing 3 sizes right now.
Oh, I don't know if you're fucking kidding or not.
From extra small to small.
Nice.
Christmas is just super fucking stressful.
Is it?
Well, your family, you fly home.
I do. Like, I am coddled. I'm not because not because my parents do that. It's just because I am. For a while, that was my only vacation. I'd go back home for 2 weeks. Somebody would make me food.
This is actually what it has become for me. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
and like
me, it's just like my stupid fucking divorced parents have all these different plans, and you have to see, your aunt's gonna be over here, and so then it's just like 4 days of driving all over the fucking Bay Area. Then I'll get to see my girlfriend's family too. I like them very much. However, it's like now there's like 2
obligations.
more families. Yeah, now there's 2 more families to go visit, and we have to somehow schedule like giant meals with all of them.
And
bring something.
I do say that, and I'm sorry because one of them is probably listening. I don't have divorced parents, but I have 2 best friends who changed girlfriends, and neither will be in the same room with the other. So that is not fun, and I have to treat them like divorced parents. Oh, are you at Waterworks? Then I'm not coming. Is he? Oh fuck. Okay, so if I get him on Thursday,
What's Waterworks?
It's just a bar.
It's like a piss fetish.
It's a bar, you son of a bitch! God, we have to bring that down already.
I'll come over shower.
Fuck did that play?
Well, by hero, it means your friend. It's
Okay.
like your friend you're going to go see that night.
Yes, because I got bulls. Whatever. Whatever. But Christmas, I guess maybe that's why it's more comforting for me. I get to go home. I don't have to work. I don't have to answer emails.
Yeah.
I wake up whenever I want. Breakfast is prepared for me.
Yes.
Dinner is prepared for me.
Yeah.
My parents pick up the check, more so now that I'm semi-employed.
I don't even mind the go see all your family members thing quite as much because I'm generally in Ireland when this happens, so it's generally just...
Wait, are you really?
I mean, not always, but this is the Christmases I like. Otherwise, it's me and my dad and my grandma and me cleaning up after them as per usual. But yeah, when I'm in Ireland, it's basically I'm a fucking guest of honor, so it's just my fat ass wakes up at 11, gets taken out to a gorgeous meal, everyone eats.
Well, it sounds like for these 2
All the
podcasters,
hash brown. No.
Christmas is a touchdown.
I don't have the right news sting. No, that's not. Yeah.
Like, it has been so long since... I can't remember the last time I woke up and someone had made me a meal. Fuck. What a dream. What a dream.
I hope she's not listening to this, but my girlfriend used to do that. And it was like, or go get me food or something while I slept longer than she
When's the last time you did that for her is the question.
I have done that. I've done that for her more recently than she's done that for me. But it's like...
You're pushing the balance back.
It's just that, like, she doesn't have to love me as much as my mother. I don't... That's not the case. My dad making me nice coffee in the morning, I understand. He has to do... That motherfucker has to do that.
I see.
She does not. My girlfriend does not. I don't expect it of her, but she hasn't done that.
Or else they're going in a home. That's what's going to happen. Remember, Dad.
He is so terrified. If I didn't express that, that's another one of the pains of going home is that he had to move his parents to a home in his town after they had planned their retirement out for years, and it turns out, oh yeah, medical science is going to keep you awake until the age of 90 when you can no longer control anything about your body, and we're going to keep you awake after that. And
Yeah.
you cannot take care of yourself. You can't drive. You can't buy food.
I'm imagining a person looking like that photo of Assassin's Creed Unity, like people keep passing around, where it's just like the eyes and the teeth and like a red mass behind it.
I love you, son.
You know, it would not.
Keep
It wouldn't even be a bad idea if you really want your parents to stay alive that long. Put them in a Futurama Richard Nixon bucket. Oh yes, Merry Christmas, son. It's fine. I'm fine with that.
Shut up, damn it.
They can continue to have opinions on politics. They just cannot do anything.
You have
with
to take
those
their
opinions.
head to the election, which all old people vote at because they have nothing better to do.
Yeah, they think they're voting, but they're just playing Candy Crush. In conjunction with this topic, we're talking about worst Christmases here.
Yes.
Worst Christmases, and I just try to gather some historical horrible things that happened on Christmas or around Christmas. I didn't know that Washington crossed the Delaware on Christmas Day.
That's some cold shit.
It's some
Yeah, cheater.
what, cheater?
Yeah.
Why?
He cheated at war.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
oh,
you can't invade shit
No,
on Christmas.
that's true. Apparently, in World War I during Christmas, I saw it called the Christmas Truce Soccer Games. Both sides, the Germans and the English, climbed out of their trenches, played soccer, and shared food.
Yes.
Did not fire a shot. Pretty fucking neat.
Yeah, the war hadn't quite. It was in that sort of state of like, are we gonna? It was will they,
Yeah.
won't they shoot each other to death?
Yeah.
And then like right after that beautiful moment, it was like, yeah, we will now shoot you all.
The reason because of that, I think, was because the generals actually figured out that was happening, and they were like, "You have to shoot someone and do it. Like, you cannot not do this."
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen.
The twister on that too, I think, was that
Paths
as
of
a result of
Glory.
that, they played German songs in order to get the Germans to come back out, and then shot them after playing the songs.
Wait, what?
After that adorable night of peace.
Oh, they did.
Yes, because the general was like, "You can't do this. This is not allowed."
Well,
So they like played a
technically-
song to kind of like lure them out, and then shot them.
In defense of Christmas, that is a Boxing Day tragedy, and we're not counting that. Tyler, you're gonna have to take full responsibility.
That's the furthest point away from Christmas is the day after. so
Exactly.
technically-
Exactly. It couldn't be further till Christmas.
The longest time till more presents. So.
Truly, Boxing Day is the saddest day of the year.
Is it?
Well, I mean, it's also like, as I understand it, and I might have the etymology wrong. My understand it is that after all the servants, spent all of Christmas Day making a beautiful meal for the wealthy people, the wealthy people were just so kind and generous they would box up some leftovers for them, and that was,
Oh,
Christ.
oh, those benevolent rich people trickling down their leftovers to
Now
us.
that might be something that Snopes is like, no bullshit, but that's the story I heard.
For Boxing Day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
It plays into my cynical Marxist interpretation of the world, so I'm
And
gonna go
now
with
it's just the day that everyone buys shit in Canada. Like, it's not Black Friday for Canada, it's Boxing Day after Christmas. You take your fucking gift cards and your shit your mom got you that doesn't fit, and you go.
the polar fleece your mom bought you that does fit you, but you will never wear it.
And then you.
Thanks, Mom. I live in California.
I thought I always had heard Boxing Day, and this is probably my misconception, that it was where you boxed up shit you didn't want and regifted it to people.
That was
Maybe that is. I mean, maybe that could
Again,
have
I don't
sort of
know.
the same origin.
It's
kind of
it
thing.
is literally one of the only things on like the fucking Sierra Club calendar I had as a
that
kid.
was Fraser Ali was boxing.
Yeah.
Rumble
Was the
in
Quaker
Jungle.
in Jamaica?
The Quaker in Jamaica.
Has anybody else seen
I like
Mars
the idea of a
Attacks?
Quaker boxer, hat with a buckle on it. What up, your dukes?
Hey, I quoted Mars Attacks, and I'm proud of it. You can go watch that movie. Maybe watch Laser Time Commentary.
that would.
Those are available. Christmas being the worst, there were other. I think I read 2 years ago, 2 families died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
As a result of
Christmas, or like something with the oven, or or shit like that. Like 2 families
they
were.
parked.
It's like the
they
turkey
got one
cooked
of
them.
Oh, boy.
You're a cruel man, Rudden.
That is
You're a
gross.
cruel man.
What happened was that they bought like a new car and put a ribbon on it, but they parked it in the
Oh,
living
no.
room like the ads told them
Honey,
to. And come outside. Look at the rich Napa leather interior.
We honestly have no idea how carbon monoxide works.
Well, you can't smell it. It's
I don't think it makes you
killer.
cough.
No, it definitely doesn't. It definitely, because I almost killed us one time, didn't I, in the house? Like, I just left the oven on and forgot to turn it off, and then, like, went in my room for an hour.
That won't kill us. That's just gas, and you know.
Yes, it will.
Oh, actually, it wasn't you left the oven on. I think you left the stove like on, but not lit, and that's
the
why.
pile.
Yeah. Oh, and then we all go smoke every, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
So
died.
I don't think we would have suffocated with all these, you know, there's some
true.
ventilation, but we could have blown ourselves up.
That's true. That's true. See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought it was.
An explosive new episode of Laser Time this week, where Chris and Tyler kill each other.
I'm skeptical though. I'm skeptical that you can just leave all the gas on, put a candle in the middle of the room, and then like on TV where the whole house explodes. Like there would be a fireball, but it's not going to like reach all the way down the hallway. And
If there was some sort of show only, like, you know, where they like bust
yeah,
myths,
yeah.
I don't know what you would call it.
That would
Like
be
maybe fallacy exposers. Like
I'm glad the only explosions that have happened in this apartment are in Chris's
misconception
room.
debunkers.
From my
misconception
anus.
debunkers. Yeah, that rolls right off the tongue.
No, I mean because it's a mess in there.
Do you know what the worst disservice Mythbusters ever done us? They fired all of the other cast members for the show recently.
Oh, really?
And have you
Even
not-
Ellen Cleghorn?
Ellen Cleghorn is no longer. They fired all the cast members from MythBusters and the Grant and Imahara guy. Have you not seen those McDonald's ads?
No.
People want to know what's in our meat, so I'm going to show them. And so he's busting myths about McDonald's meat, paid for by McDonald's.
Of course.
Pink slime, that doesn't exist. We're going to go show him, like, man, you actually owe society a little more responsibility than that after, like, promoting science for a long
Did they show
time.
like the crazy farms where the animals are
They-
probably like packed ear to ear?
They don't, and they
like-
probably like shed a little light on McDonald's. Like it's probably not. They like what's up with the McRib, and it turns out the McRib doesn't come from a terrible place. It's just an awful food product, man. And he's like, and then we deep freeze it here. I'm like, that's the one. They
Right.
deep freeze it here, put a shitload of preservatives that are not good for you, and they ship it out. So this like they've made meat that can never die.
I would say that he probably got paid more for those in the first
Did he
5
for-
to 6 seasons
Probably,
of Mythbusters.
probably.
Maybe
And
his entire
McDonald's, I'm available. I will lie to this audience.
career. There you go.
And it's-
Look at these cows. It's like
Yeah.
it's like climbing over a rainbow and Jesus blessing it.
Is my McNugget free range?
Free range nuggets.
Yes, it fell into a nugget presser and died. That poor chicken.
I mean,
It's
that's my
of old
counter.
age.
That's my counter movement, though. Is like I just eat nothing but fast food, despite
Dude, that is what I do
overpriced,
too.
organic food.
Waffle House.
There you go.
Waffle House for like 45 cents. I can get hash
Cold
brown.
pressed juice. I got a sun-kissed grape soda right here, motherfucker.
It's insane. But we're talking about worst Christmases.
We
here.
are.
And one of those is this. Jimmy Buffett was born on Christmas. I got
That
it.
fucking sucks.
I have to imagine that is one of the worst Christmases of all time. In fact, if there was one Christmas I could go erase, it's
He
only-
is like one of my most hated musicians. I listen to a lot of music. I love music. Jimmy Buffett is fucking terrible. And people that are like dedicated Jimmy Buffett fans are some of the worst.
It's not that I even like I could accept his music when I live in Florida where he lives,
Right.
and like I've seen him several times.
Margaritaville,
just, like-
Florida.
No, he lives in the Keys. He lives in the Keys, and he, like the guy who lives across the street from my parents rents him buses. Like all these tour buses are like he just
the Buffett bus.
He's the Buffett bus, the Buffett buffet. He's always he's in and out of the city. I see him all the time, and just like people like his lyrics, man, are just so like he's a novelty singer. He is a novelty singer singing about cheeseburgers in paradise and white people drinking places.
Yes.
It is not real music. Do not tell me about how deep his lyrics are.
Yeah,
Yes, you can
yeah.
relate to them, but like that's sort of the point. He's talking about being lazy and drinking.
Yes.
And
Guess what?
yes, I try to keep that under wraps.
This podcast has been brought to you by being lazy and drinking and burgers.
I wish my buddy Aaron was listening, but like we got invited to this beach house, super nice, by somebody who was very somebody's parents who was really wealthy, and
Warren Buffett.
and they sat there and they expounded upon
Jimmy Buffett, brother of Warren Buffett. Man, what a fucking great show.
Nothing
that
I'm going
would
to say
be.
is going to beat that. That's fine. But we're going to talk about worst Christmases, and mine is in the vein of Jimmy Buffett is a total first world problem.
Yeah. I may have overstated my hatred of him, but I dislike him.
I really do. Just like I don't like the music, and I don't like people pretending he's some kind of philosopher. Like
He's
that's
the kind of philosopher for someone who has a dog as my co-pilot bumper sticker.
and my friend is a musician, and like we had to hear like a lot of like weird political agendas and like thanks for the beach house and then like for like half an hour all of these 40 or 50-year-olds were telling us about how great Jimmy Buffett was, and he stuck it out for the duration of a Frasier episode and just finally said, No. No, none of this is true. I cannot stand to listen to this anymore. I either have to leave or you have to realize what you're saying is horrible.
Right, yeah.
Like, this music is terrible. He's like a professional musician. Like, I cannot listen to this anymore. Please turn this off. It is not good. I just
Also, that's an important lesson. If you ever get offered a free beach house or a timeshare
Yes.
that older people or richer people than you own, you are going to have to endure conversations that are fucking horrible.
I still say do it.
Horrible.
Though. Do it. I will accept anything for a free
But
trip.
that's the
free
price
room
you
board.
pay. It's
It
not
is.
technically free. You
It
are
is,
going
and
to be a sounding board for
And I
a
never-
67-year-old person.
I
for
never
quite a while.
understood that until I got older, and I don't have money necessarily.
Yeah.
I do like. No one ever wants to do exactly what I want to do, but if I invite them to a free beach house,
There you go.
That's right.
Been there with my fucking
We're
friends.
playing Yahtzee
That's right.
tonight.
Yes. Yes.
God.
Hope
Hope you like Parcheesi.
Hope you like Kickle Cubicle in
I took the battery out of the car and swallowed the keys, so you have to stay.
Guess what we're watching tonight? Movies directed by Kevin Smith's friends.
We can put all our garbage music on while they
Including garbage.
yes. Will they lecture us on how shit it is?
Yes. Yep.
But this is my pathetic, sad, worst Christmas, and I know I haven't endured a lot of tragedy during Christmas. I know that is a good thing. I think it's the
Avoid tragedy whenever possible, Chris. That's life
well,
advice
no,
for
the
you.
holiday. I know a ton of people have those horror stories, especially if you're like me and you go back home to a town. Well, I've been honest before about going back to my hometown. Everybody drives drunk. Everybody drives drunk, and I've heard several people having stories like he went home to see his family and died in a car accident. Like, we're all driving around Tallahassee, Florida, hammered. Everybody is.
That's common, I think, in most places.
Yeah, and like it happened, and like you go back there with no responsibility or job to wake up to. It has not happened yet. I have one friend who's gotten a DUI coming home for Christmas. Nobody's been hurt, but I haven't had that yet. My worst Christmas, from a dork standpoint, was I asked over and over again for a Nintendo Entertainment System, and I believe 1988. It had been out for a while. It was not expensive anymore. It would have been out for 3 years, I believe. And I asked for a Nintendo Entertainment System. I methodically thought my parents would think it was cute if I pretended to believe in Santa Claus, even though I was very sure that it did not exist. And like every time I'd draw something in crayon and like, this is Santa giving me Mario Bros. and like they would like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm like, this is a fucking shoo-in. I got this. I got this. And Christmas, I get down there and like, well, there's no box that big. Ooh, wait, my mom's coming out, and we got something special for you. And it's a little box. I'm like, ooh, maybe this is a voucher, gift certificate. And I open it up. It is what? Does anybody want to take a guess? Little box.
FM Towns Marty.
Ooh, no, sorry, sorry, I keep getting this wrong. Sorry.
A Bat Out of Hell cassette tape.
Ooh. Wouldn't have been a bad idea. Just would have been a couple years too early. Oh wait, no, Bad Out of Hell, the first one. Yes, that would fun.
Soundgarden SACD.
Oh, it was Bad Motorfinger. No, close. No, it was.
Wow, that's close.
No, it was. I wanted an NES, and I got gymnastics lessons. Gymnastics lessons.
Wow.
And like, and I didn't like. I was so fucking mad at the time, especially like gymnastics lessons. Like, and here's what you have to wear. What? This is a unitard, a single tard.
Did you jump over a canyon while the Blues were chasing you?
It's worse than that. It's worse than that. They had to have a carpool pick up the kids to go to gymnastics lessons after school. Mostly girls.
Oh.
But I had to put my unitard on in the last period of school.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
In elementary school, my single tard, I had to put that on. And after a while, like some girl said once, like, you look pretty good, and like I started to. I'll put it on a period before.
Oh my
god! Everybody knows. But in hindsight, like I stayed fitter for longer in my life. I just realized like I'm incapable of certain things. Like I can still kind of do
being grateful and
yeah. I can still kind of I can still do a handstand. I still have decent balance, and I think that was from like 3 years I was forced into gymnastics. But whatever. Like that was my worst Christmas.
On my first day of gymnastics, I cried, and they never made me go back.
Oh, really?
So that was my way of getting.
But there was like
all the girls in the class were like, "Look at that pussy,"
which is fine with me. I mean, I didn't want to go anywhere or do anything when I was a kid.
You know who had a worse Christmas? The Library of Congress.
Hey, why is that?
In 1851, approximately 2/3 of the Library of Congress's 55,000 volumes were burned in a fire that ravaged the library. So the Archive of the United States disappeared on Jesus' birthday, essentially.
That's crazy. 2/3?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Allegedly. Most of Thomas Jefferson's personal library, sold to the institution in 1815, was included in the loss. And I'm guessing that includes some people. No.
Who would have thought books are flammable, though?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Not like all those
acetone,
that nitrate film.
Yeah.
Inflammable means flammable.
What a country.
Yeah, that shit is insane. How flammable like the old film is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's like the firefighters won't come near like certain movie like those old movie theaters that would catch on fire. Like we're not going. Like you cannot put that shit out. It burns so hot.
As a guy, I understand who is very paranoid about losing things forever. That happens all the time with that shit. Like there was a fire in like I think Fox's archives a couple years ago where it's like there's no other copies of these. They're all gone. They exploded because they're made out of that.
It was around Christmas. Aardman Studios, the Wallace and Gromit people, had a huge fire, and like worse than film, they lost the models. They lost characters.
Those ugly models.
Stop it!
No.
Boo, Dave. Boo.
And, hey, I am not. It's not so much that
cracking, Dave. Cracking.
I am not so much.
I'm 90% tea.
I'm not so much about the preservation of shit, about the preservation of memories.
Sure.
And so the idea of like a digital hard drive, like it doesn't really happen anymore. A cloud backup, most studios will never lose.
My
it.
computer just exploded. There's probably stuff on there I'll never get back. So
well, I mean, even I'm like, well, I got all that digitally anyway. There's very little of it I can't get back again, especially if it's connected to an iTunes or Steam account, even if they don't sell it anymore.
No, I was reading about like these record collectors who are just going up and buying up like warehouses.
There's that Brazilian guy.
Yeah. I was reading about him.
What is this?
He's buying literally anything. Like he'll buy entire stores, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of LPs. Like he has this massive warehouse in like Brazil.
Why?
He's obsessed with it. Like he has a problem, but he's also got people like cataloging them and like digitizing because he's like these will just be lost forever if someone doesn't do something about it.
That is a hoarder.
Dozens of full-time employees that he hires.
He's a wealthy hoarder.
He runs some like bus service company in Brazil, and like he has like probably close to millions of LPs now. It's like, and he's like, there's a picture of him standing on like a crate that's probably 20 feet by 30 feet filled with records, and he's just standing on it. And there's like 50 of those crates in the photo, and it's just like
Jesus Christ.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
so you
His name
read
is
Vice too?
Blanca hard drive.
this was in the Times. Thank you.
Oh, was it? Okay, I forgot.
No, I get more
Sounds
pissed
like a Vice story. So.
when you read about like a lost Lon Chaney movie or like Fritz Lang's Metropolis is missing footage and they can't find it.
Where's
Like,
the
that
most
sucks.
complete version?
I know, but that sucks. That sucks. That like there's a portion of something that was made for everyone that is now no longer available to anyone.
But then it's like that's the whole thing, though, right? It's like you have to get away from the idea of permanence because I think it's weird when people get like obsessed with like this collection kind of stuff.
Probably
Like,
right.
It's a huge life problem. Like it'll take over your shit if you like become this weird advocate for like everything needs to be preserved forever for everyone. It's like you can't live your life like that.
I don't
you
want,
really can't.
But I think but in the digital age, it's easier to preserve everything for
Sure,
everyone.
yeah. As long as you back your hard drive.
Eventually, the sun is going to grow many times its size and envelop the Earth, and it won't exist.
We made a
anymore.
joke about that in the former podcast, though. Like, if we don't back up who we are and like what we think is important, then someone's going to come down.
Future anthropologists.
Aliens are going to come down, dust off the ashes, kick over a couple alien carcasses, and find a can of fucking Mighty Morphin Power Ranger SpaghettiOs. And think that's what all we were about. SpaghettiOs. That's asinine. I don't want that shit to happen.
Do you guys know the name of that record collector?
No.
It's a Blanca cassette tape.
Ooh.
He's from Brazil, remember?
Yeah,
That
that's
part?
true. That's true.
Ow! I did.
Ow! When I asked him about his record collection, he responded.
How have records held up this long, actually?
They're very durable. They
Are
really
they?
are, as long as you don't like fucking grind the hell out of them and step all over them.
I know I've said that 1,000 times, and I had to do it a lot. Fucking Ace Attorney fans.
The ones that are hard to preserve are the old 78s that are made out of acetate, because those are
see.
incredibly brittle and those will shatter all the
Well,
time.
I had heard that.
You remember that video of the guy with the wax cylinder? Because before records, there were cylinders
that cracked.
That cracked, and it's like he's talking about it's the most like valuable, precious
Yes.
thing, and it just explodes in his hands. He's just like, oh.
There's a noise that comes out of his house. It's like, oh.
It's like Lemon Grab without the cartoonishness. It's classics.
Yeah, dude, people breaking stuff on TV while talking about it.
It really never gets old.
Actually, that does sort of bug me. There are a lot of There are a lot of Christmas special things that are lost to time.
Despite your best efforts.
well, like, but unlike a lot of stuff, like, I mean, back in the day, Turner bought "It's a Wonderful Life" with this, like, because Ted Turner was a fucking crazy person.
Yes,
and he loved old movies, and "It's a Wonderful Life" fell into the public domain. And so every channel showed it all the time. He's like, this movie's fucking special, and these prints are garbage.
That's very true.
And so he bought it back up, and like, this will air twice a year, period, and it will be Christmas. And I do like the idea that, like, it's mostly through intentional withholding that their Christmas specials are annual. And like, before there was a home video format, you never saw those things. You got once a year. Let's tune in. It's a tradition. I love that. I love little traditions like that. I think it's really neat, especially when it's the Christmas specials I do like from back then, Snoopy and Rudolph, they're all kind of...
It does suck that that'll never happen again. There's no...
Maybe.
You don't have to tune in at a certain time. You just have to open up the old Netflix app.
Maybe, but like, there's a really good new special from Disney and Pixar, I think it's just Disney, actually, Prep and Landing. It's really good. It's a special, and it's like, I wouldn't feel the compulsion to watch that. I own it. I wouldn't feel the compulsion to watch it if not for Christmas.
Can you imagine, like, patterning your schedule? Like, we're saying, I have something to do. Oh, but It's a Wonderful Life is on at 3 p.m. Ergo,
that used to happen.
We're postponing dinner so that I can watch this.
I postponed my social life in high school because I was obsessed with SNL. I don't want to miss SNL. Fucking Christian Slater's hosting this week. That'd be crazy.
I'm still a person who has passed on plans because there's a pay-per-view that night. There's a WWE event that I am watching on television live.
Watching it after the fact is useless? Why
Yes.
would I ever do that? It's like a sporting event. Is what
Does
it is.
WWE do anything for Christmas?
They half-ass it. they record a bunch of shows, and then they'll have like one Christmas episode where like somebody breaks a present over somebody's head during a match.
Sounds about right.
And all the divas dress up like
Sexy Santa.
Yeah, sexy
Sexy
Santa.
elves.
There's still
Sexy Rudolph.
one of the worst Christmas specials ever, John Denver and the Muppets. Which
Sounds terrible.
I love, but like, John Denver's no longer available to us, and it's this cornball, ultra sincere, like really serious Christmas special with it. All they do is sing to one another, where he sings to socks, just like for an hour. It's so excruciating.
Just like socks on his bed, not even like Muppets.
and
You're my socks.
and it's gone. It's like it's gone. You can't buy it. You can't see it. It's gone.
So
have
I've
you
seen where he
seen,
got really mad during that special and he just lost his head, you know, and you couldn't...
All right.
Have you seen the Jimmy Buffett in the Muppets Christmas special?
No, stop it. I'll never watch it. Apparently, the Ku Klux Klan formed on Christmas, Christmas Eve.
That was a white Christmas.
Yes, they were.
Man, set him up, knock him down.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Klan in a while since I haven't been in Florida, but they used to come pretty frequently. Whenever there was a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
They're kind of like boogeymen to me. Like,
No,
I've never.
They're like the
seen-
Shriners Club, but with a more
I
elaborate
think
costume
that's-
to me. It's old fat white guys who are retirees. Like
They're not taken seriously, and it's not scary for I think anybody. It's just
well, as a white guy, it's never scary.
No, I don't think they would march to make a statement on the Capitol and like not do anything. I'm sure it definitely would have been scary back in the day. I don't doubt that. So our black friend got scared because what we were gonna do is my friend Andrew and I were going to wear thongs and be put in reins and pull our black friend up on a chariot while he whipped us when the Klansmen. And we went all out. We got ready, and I actually, if I remember, I think Keith got scared because like, actually, I don't know. I don't know. Why take the risk? It's a good. Why take the risk? We're bringing. Look, there's even rope in this thing. Like, I don't want to give. That's giving them ammo. His words. Anyway, who else has a terrible Christmas memory?
All right. Well, I can share some. So one of my first years out here in San Francisco, my entire family lives in New York, and I've for the last few years I've always just gone there for Christmas. Yeah. I'll have Thanksgiving here because I almost always have friends who are around, and we'll have like a local
orphan Christmas or
That's what we call it.
But like the first year, or sorry, the second year, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of the tradition, so my mom told me like, oh, we're having a bunch of relatives from Ireland over for Christmas, or not for Thanksgiving. So I went back for Thanksgiving, and it was also weird because I was a pescatarian that year. So I got to go back for Thanksgiving where everybody...
Nothing but piss.
everybody made fun of me for not eating the turkey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're that kind of Irish?
Well, they're that kind of like religious.
Boston,
Yeah.
right?
So then, by the time Christmas rolled around, I didn't have any plans with anyone. I had one friend who invited me to his family's place, and then like 2 days before that, one of their grandparents died, and because they had to deal with all of that and wanted a more like intimate, like solemn gathering, I didn't go, and I had nothing really to do that Christmas except for later in the day when my friends took me to a movie. So
Do you remember the movie? Because I can put a date on it.
No, I can't.
It's not. If it's Django Unchained, it was 2 years ago.
I was crying through the whole thing.
Dave, I'm so
just
sorry.
so happy that somebody took me out of it. But it was also like I got exposed to the phenomenon of like nothing's open. Like I was gonna have like a bowl of like it was so sad. Like, oh well, I was supposed to be at a friend's house this morning. I'm just gonna have a bowl of cereal and like play some games or something. And then I'm like, oh, I have to walk like 5 or 6 blocks to even find a place that will sell me milk on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Even in like a city like
For some reason, like again, Waffle House is open on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And like I saw a couple press releases this year. Start off that point. People should stop doing Black Friday doorbusters. That should be illegal.
Yeah, don't do that.
That should be illegal. If there are human beings who are willing to trample one another and kill Walmart employees in exchange for $20 off a Blu-ray player, that shouldn't be legal. It just shouldn't. And
Make it even closer to home. A $250 Xbox One, which is something you want.
Not me.
Not worth it.
I'll sell mine for $400. No. It's a couple of press releases went out this year, and like GameStop will be closed on Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and like in respect for like they're sending out press releases saying, but not Black Friday, just Thanksgiving, where they were always closed. Where they were always closed. So like if you have something to brag about, like make a statement, like say we're not open on Black Friday.
But they are making a slight statement because now stores they're not even waiting till Black Friday. They're opening like eat your fucking turkey and get down here. We're open at 8 o'clock Thanksgiving night.
Yeah. It's the most like family-oriented day of the year. I mean, next to Christmas, arguably, but don't do anything on Thanksgiving. Like a couple grocery stores are going to be open, and please be nice to those people.
And I can't emphasize that enough. Amazon will have the better deals always throughout Christmas. I'll be tweeting most of them from the Twitter account Laser Time Show.
They call it Cyber Monday, and I want to like slap whoever came up with that phrase because it's such a stupid fucking.
It's a stupid name, but way better deals.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Amazon price matches. So unless it's one of those doorbuster sale with that secret asterisk that says 5 available, Amazon will match whatever any store is doing. Don't line up. Wait. Buy that shit. Have it shipped in a week. Who cares? Do not. It's lowering yourself to the level of those Black Friday. I cannot stand seeing that footage.
You know what they should have Sorry. You know what they should have the day before Cyber Monday is Information Superhighway Sunday. Find something equally as old as cyber.
Also, not to sound like the grossest lame-o, but maybe just don't.
Yeah, maybe just don't.
Maybe
just don't. I did.
Go to a soup kitchen. Almost fucking hang out with your family.
I might start doing charitable stuff just to give myself a little bit of a schedule.
Well, and it also, I think, you'll feel good. And it's not just to be jealous to feel good for yourself.
Who would like to feel? Because I give to charity and certain things. Kickstarter is a charity, right?
Sure. When I never see the product.
But yes. All right, wait, we should go to break. We're going to get back with more Tragic Christmases. This is Laser Time's worst Christmas episode. You're welcome. Oh, is it too early to celebrate Christmas? This is December now, right? When you're listening to this? Oh, God, I certainly hope so. Why is the fucking ice machine going off? I'm in the kitchen studio. Guys, I'm probably still in Japan, but I want to say thank you for listening anyway. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. You know I'm a big fan of Christmas. For 4 or 5 years, I held up a site, Cartoon Christmas, where he wrote about a animated Christmas special every single fucking day for December. I nearly died. I have no idea why I did it, but it's still there. I'm probably not going to be updating it very frequently, if at all. But I want to let you guys know it was over there. Thank you for listening to the show. We wanted to ask everybody to make sure that at least once a day, man, maybe once a week, once a year, go to lasertimepodcast.com. You can find out, you can find more stuff from us, the people you like, host a lot of shows. Henry Gilbert has a comic book show. Brett Elston has a video game music show. Michael Raparez has a video game show. And Davey Rudden has a wrestling show called Cheap Popcast. You can find all that and more at lasertimepodcast.com. We have a ton of articles there, some of them written by you fine people. I'm loving those things that are coming in. I hope you enjoy those over the holidays. I'm going to try and do something really special. I have about 2 weeks left before I have to, once I come back, where I have to go to Florida for another 2 weeks. I'm going to be miserable, but hopefully we're going to make something fun out of it. And in that time, you should be seeing soon some videos, some little stupid travelogue videos I shot in Japan. I don't know what those are, because I haven't shot them yet. I could be dead, but you're going to hear this anyway. If I'm dead right now, nobody can have any of my DVDs. Nobody. Those have to. I think my will state that somebody is hired to guard them. Someone will guard my DVDs, not the Blu-rays, not the games. Can't have my DVDs, man. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder. Let's just get back to the show now. Laser Time, second segment. All aboard. Let's go. Ourselves in with this is one of my favorite Christmas songs from what some people consider one of the worst Christmas specials, George and the Christmas Star, a Canadian Christmas special, but the music is by Paul Anka, and it's great.
Chris,
it's great.
Chris, was Christmas named after you, or were you named after Christmas?
Christopher means follower of Christ, and Christ Mass means Mass that you celebrate during Christ's birthday. I forget exactly, but
I thought he was he resurrected on Easter?
The root of my name and Christmas is Christ. So
it was named after you, is what you're
saying. That's essentially what I said.
Chris Antista is the reason for the season.
I am the reason for the season. I am also your co-pilot. And if you wish really hard, I'll help you win that game.
When you see two sets of footprints on the beach and one of them disappears and then the other one comes back, that was Chris Antista holding you, carrying you across the beach.
And the worst of the days I created, Joan Benet Ramsey disappeared on my day in 1996. You're welcome.
But back to Grimm's point, why are white Christians always walking along beaches?
Right? I'd never heard of this. What site is this on? Top10s.net.
Hey.
The Christmas War. In late December of 1896, the white citizens of Mayfield, Kentucky made the mistake of lynching one too many black men.
Jesus Christ.
Completely fed up, the black community got together and launched what was nearly the largest race war the state had ever seen. Black and white citizens alike armed themselves with the whites barricading themselves in their homes while black citizens marched on the town. Between December 23rd and the 25th, the streets became a localized war zone. Hundreds of bullets were fired, windows were smashed, houses were shot, and several people were gunned down.
Wow, where was that?
Kentucky.
Fucking course. Jesus
You
Christ.
say of course, but it could have been like the entire southeastern side of the United States.
What year was that?
1896.
Jesus Christ, that's so not that long ago.
Like Louis C.K., that's like 2 70-year-old ladies ago.
Yeah, real, dude.
That's crazy to think about that. And,
God damn.
You know, the old Christmas race war is now a tradition.
Yes.
Town.
What's that movie, Fight for Your Life, I think is the name of it? What? It's an exploitation movie, but it was a movie that had, basically it's a black family being terrorized by like a white sort of like hick family who like sort of takes them hostage and shit. But the movie is hilarious because it has 2 separate trailers that were complete race baiting trailers, where one trailer was designed to be showed to white audiences to make like the black people were the villains, and the other one was designed to show the opposite, where the black people were the heroes and the white people were the villains.
You just gave me a brilliant idea for over the break. I think I could do the same thing with Do the Right Thing.
You could make a cut.
That's one of my favorite movies ever. By the
That
way.
is one of the
it's-
absolutely great movie.
But I love watching, like, if you watch that with a wrong white person, they just get like, "You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
This is what happens when you give them an inch." And like,
That's why you don't
are
give
you serious?
ambiguity to anything,
That's
because you
why
get that asshole that marches in and ruins
That's
it for
what you
everyone.
took away.
That pizza guy's window is broken.
With these two fucking hands.
Radio who? Fucking idiots, dude.
Oh, that's too good. All right, sorry. That's too funny to me personally.
Speaking of Radio Raheem, I saw you opened a link that had the 10 celebrities that died on Christmas.
Yes.
I gotta hear some.
Number one apparently is James Brown.
man.
Well, that's the thing. Like Brett says, every time I go to town, man, celebrities die, and like, I think you mean every time you go to town for Christmas for multiple days, somebody big does die. I remember that. Not that this is a huge one, but like Brittany Murphy. But just that it was not that it wasn't a big death. It's just it was like incredibly unexpected for someone her age. And then like her husband died like a couple months later of the same mysterious circumstances. And I think they recently opened the case. Why Luann? No, like no, nothing like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently there's something shady involved because they both died of mysterious circumstances. Way too young.
Weird.
I don't know. Who doesn't like a good conspiracy? James Brown died on Christmas.
That's kind of appropriate, though.
Oh, totally.
James Brown.
Totally. They put the jacket on him. He just didn't throw it off.
Oh.
He just what? Somebody had to have made that joke.
Oh, also a really sad story, I believe. He is still not buried.
What?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
There's a big legal battle between him and existing family members who don't agree on how he wanted to be interred or whatever. So I believe he is still frozen somewhere waiting to be buried.
Ever the
Wait a
showman.
minute. This mausoleum isn't double bolted.
Ever the showman. Dean Martin. Dean Martin died 3 days after the Swinging Stars succumbed to respiratory failure on Christmas in 1995 at the age of 78. At the Sands, the now bygone.
It wasn't
disease.
cirrhosis of the liver? That's fucking unbelievable.
I mean, it's kind of the same. Respiratory failure. I mean, the guy did
I
host a
stopped
show with a
breathing.
cigarette for like 8 years.
This is true.
Eartha Kitt, Catwoman, one of the Catwoman died. That's the one I did. My big tragic one was Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin died a few years before I was born on Christmas Day. I just retweeted recently a picture of Orson Welles and Charlie Chaplin that I don't know fucking floored me for whatever reason. Those two people met.
That's pretty crazy.
So cool. And
I love your work.
Vic Chestnut? Oh, Jesus. No wonder he's number 5. Singer-songwriter who I've never heard of. But Christmas tragedies. Worst Christmases ever. I'm trying to think of other worst Christmases ever. No, not coming to me. Maybe it's the one where all goes back to video games. My mom worked her ass off to, I think, bribe a person at Sears to hold one piece of the shipment that had a Nintendo 64 in it, so she could come and buy one.
One piece for Nintendo 64.
Yeah. Well, there was one Nintendo 64 left. She's like, "Do you want it? Are you serious? Do you?" I was like, "I want it so bad," and she's like, "I tried. I keep trying." And she finally, I got one. And the day before, I'd seen a commercial. Well, the Sega Saturn is less, and there's no game that comes with the Nintendo 64. And this Sega Saturn comes with Virtua Cop, Virtua Fighter 2, and Daytona USA.
That is a pretty awesome deal.
Yeah, I think like it's less, and like Mario 64 at the time was, I think, like $70 or $80.
Yeah, that's correct.
As a game.
And 64 games were like $80.
And there were already like Knights was out. There was already discounted Saturn games, and I said, "Get that Saturn." I don't regret it, but Jesus.
Yeah, I got an N64 on Christmas because my parents loved me. They would buy anything. Mine's not that good. It's a lot like Dave's. It was recently after moving to San Francisco. Recently out of a relationship, a long-term relationship. And the first Christmas that I was alone because my dad and his wife, for whatever reason, were going on a cruise or whatever. They can do what they want. They
Something that white people do.
have money, yeah. My mom and my stepdad were going to Kentucky, and they asked if I wanted to come, and I don't know why I didn't. I guess I was just like so committed to work. I wanted to work right up until Christmas
That does
Eve.
sound like you. But why would you go to Kentucky?
His family was there. So.
I know, but that still seems frightening. Like, be trapped with your family in a place like Kentucky.
Yeah, I didn't want to go, but then I realized like the alternative was living in basically the set of a post-apocalyptic movie, San Francisco during Christmas, which is entirely a city of transplants. You can walk down the middle of like Van Ness, which is one of the like biggest
and
throughways
lie
in the
down
city.
in the middle of the fucking street.
You're fine.
Yep.
Yeah, there's nope. Like everything's closed and everyone is gone, and it was like I just walked out at 10 a.m. just like, oh, I didn't think about the fact like I've always been home with a huge meal. Everything's closed on Christmas Day. Oh yeah, like even the grocery stores are going to be open a little bit, but not right now. And in San Francisco, like it takes a while to get to a Safeway. Which
Must find a non-Christian.
yeah, so I had to wander around until I finally found this like little deli corner store, and it was just like,
How you doing, boss? Hey,
Also-
boss.
you're open.
Also worth noting, like I would argue that San Francisco is categorically the least Christian city in the United States of America, and it is still a total fucking ghost town on Christmas because it's just.
No one's from here. Nobody's from here.
Well, I mean, even then, it's just like it's just a national holiday. Everyone of every stripe is like, nah, fuck it, I ain't working today. Why?
You don't have to. Yeah, so it was just weird, and it really felt like deserted, and I was alone. All my roommates were gone. I was living like in a house with a lot of roommates at the time. They're all gone. So I remember going out back to that same corner store I found at like 6 or 7 or whatever, and I was like, I guess I'll drink. Because no one took me out to a movie like Dave.
I was with my family. That's what I was doing too.
Yeah. So I went and I bought a bottle of whiskey, and I was walking back, and it was in like a little brown paper bag like you do, and the bag ripped and it fell and smashed all over.
Ah, Jesus.
So then all my whiskey, like, and I had already walked like.
This is like the grown-up
mile.
version of Charlie Brown. Ah, rats.
So then I was like, well, I'm not gonna drink. So I turned around and walked all the way back and bought another bottle of whiskey and held it with my hand under the bag.
Like a baby Jesus.
Like a baby Jesus. And then I sat in my room alone with my laptop. Didn't have a TV. I just had like a mattress. And this was a bad breakup I was coming out of. I
remember.
I had no things.
That house caught on fire, didn't it?
Yeah, later it did. So I just had like a mattress and my laptop from work. And back then we didn't have Hulu or Netflix. Like, it's not that long ago, but it's crazy to think like those
It really
are pretty
is.
recent inventions.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there. The only way you could like I could watch something other than pirating it, and like I didn't want to do that at the time. So I was buying it from fucking iTunes, and they would charge like $2 or $3 a goddamn episode.
Yeah, that was insane.
And I think I had like just discovered Community.
Oh, wow.
Like the first season. And no one was really watching it. So I think I just sat and drank whiskey and watched
watched
rewatched
like
Community.
$45 worth of Community.
Yeah. And just like rewatched all the episodes I had already bought from fucking iTunes on my laptop.
Wow.
Lying on my mattress alone. I was like, Merry Christmas, me. And then I got drunk and passed out. It was all fine.
There you go.
No,
Works
that's
out.
one of the cool. Like I came back for Christmas. Oh no, it was last year, and then like I was having I was waking up on San Francisco time, and I was doing a shitload of work working for Laser Time and the other company, and I just couldn't go to bed, and I was chugging. My parents have a giant, like, it's not even a liquor cabinet, it's a liquor section of the house. I don't drink.
The liquor wing.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's like they pick up. It's one of those things they buy when they travel. They like buy like liquor, and they're not saying to not drink it. So I'm like probably drinking something from a vacation from the '70s, and so it's super potent. And I'm just getting slammed, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life for the second consecutive time. And my dad comes out and like just starts to explain to me everything about the movie, and it was so cool. It was so cool. Have you seen It's a Wonderful Life recently?
No.
Last year or two.
I mean, like, the hero of the movie works at a savings and loan.
Yes.
And they're the heroes. And they're the heroes. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is the bank the hero? He's like, no. Potter's the bank.
Yes.
So the savings and loan, the banks have eaten them all up since, like, around the time I was born. And he had to explain it. Like, I thought that was fascinating. Like, the movie barely makes sense when you think about it like that. Like, I'm giving everybody loans and charging you interest. Why are you upset? You have no money. I can't give you your money back. And like, yeah, everybody should be taking his head. He's like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. Like, I don't know. That was a good Christmas
that's-
memory.
Hey, you lived through a couple of real estate crises, and you're just like, why is he the good guy?
Yeah, why is he the good guy?
No, my experience when I do go home, I stay the night at my mom's usually, and then like my mom and my sister come like 9:30. Are like, well, seriously, it's 9:30. Yeah, I think I'm pretty tired. Turn in. I was up at 5 a.m. You were? Why? Why did you? So then they go to bed, and I'm just sitting in this dark suburban house, and it's so silent outside. And so then I go over to like there's like a sort of bar that has like cobwebs on it with like 15-year-old rum in it that my mom will never drink, and I just pull that out and sit there and drink and just for the first I never watch like TV. We're all Hulu, Netflix, but just turn on like Cartoon Network and sit there with a bottle of ancient alcohol, and it's silent because I don't have a lot of like friends back where I grew up, and if I do, like they're doing shit on Christmas Day. So
Yeah.
I always love Dave Attell's joke. If I wanted to see the people I went to high school with, I'll get a pizza delivered.
that's basically it. My old friends from high school are like, I don't know, like still working at wherever it was they were working while they were in high school. So
The companies their parents owned that they got hired onto immediately as soon as they graduated high school.
no,
That's a lot of people I know.
I wish that happened to me, but
Soviet Union fell on Christmas Day.
Really? Did it?
Well, Gorbachev stepped down,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
and then
makes
the
sense.
flag.
I'm sure that was a
the
calculated
flag
decision.
went away.
Okay, that's a calculated. I'm sure that was.
It is, and now it's back and better than ever. I cannot wait to see how that works out.
I hate Putin. Is now the time?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm saving mine for last because I think it's I really come into a situation where I feel like I am the killer.
I got the top.
I win. Guess what,
I'm
motherfuckers?
gonna depress your earbuds off.
I got 5 aces, bitch. Basically.
if you were playing Fantasy Laser Time, you should have chosen Grimm for your lineup today, because he's going to get you at least 25 points.
Oh, and Dick Tracy got married. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. I had to get
who
that.
did that?
I had to get that out there. I know that people want to know. And Humphrey Bogart was born, but that's a good thing because Casablanca is something you should watch over the break.
That's fair. So basically, I go back up to Northern California to hang with my dad and my grandma, who come up frequently. But yeah, all my family lives in Ireland. My dad doesn't have any family. They're all old and a million years old and dead. So it's basically my dad and my grandma. They live here. My little brother is actually back from Iraq, and he just came back from Iraq.
So, okay. He lives in Ireland now, right?
He does. He moved to Ireland earlier this year. So he used to live in North Carolina. Anyway, he was back in town, which is very rare because he got leave and he's kind of lazy. He doesn't want to fly out to the West Coast for anything ever.
So where does he go? Does he come back to the States ever?
I mean, as of now, not yet. But when he was in the
Really?
Army, yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, he's only been there for like under a year.
So he's not in the military anymore.
No, he's out of the military. He's in the Army, yeah. So he's out of the Army now. But he was basically on leave, out of the Army, back in the West Coast, which never happened.
But you guys are literally like Irish twins, right?
We're brothers. He's a few years younger than me. But
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was like 1 year. Oh, my bad.
No, it's like 2-3 years.
Okay.
But no. So basically, he comes back for Christmas, and it's fucking awesome because that never happens. And we go to my dad's place, and my dad's an old fucking lemony curmudgeon and shit, and it's beautiful. It's like fuck yeah, Christmas.
I want you to look at if you can find Grimm's Instagram of the gun collection in your dad's house.
Yeah.
Jesus
We just
Christ.
moved him into I just moved him into an apartment. But yeah, it was
How many guns do you think there were?
spitballing it. I would say it's something 35 plus rifles and maybe a dozen, maybe 20 pistols.
That's
And
like
he lives in like a 2-bedroom apartment. He doesn't have like a house or anything anymore. So it's like
almost more than one man could hold.
So now it's a 1-bedroom, 1 gun room apartment.
essentially, yes. Grandma lives in the first floor. But yeah, anyway, beautiful. We're all back in town. We're all hanging out. It's been years. It's super fucking cool. And Christmas Eve, we're just like, none of us cook. We're all fucking douchey bachelor type dudes. And it's like, all right, well, let's go get something to eat. So we go to this Chinese restaurant we've been going to since we were fucking kids. Go there, get some fucking Chinese food, eat the lunch up. It's great. They're great. We come home. Dad starts coughing, and he's like coughing. And we're just like, whatever. And it's like, he keeps coughing, and it happens over like a couple hours, and it's like getting like kind of really violent. And we're just like,
Where you can't even turn the TV volume up any longer.
yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up, Dad. I'm trying to watch.
I'm trying to watch John Denver and the Muppets.
Better. But yeah, and he's just like hacking and coughing away, and we're like, "Are you great?" Right? He's like, "I'm fine." He's like, he hates medical care, he hates science, or no, he hates
Obama.
religion. He hates Obama. Yes, no. But yeah, anyway, he is taking a shit, and while he's taking a shit, he's coughing repeatedly, and it's like, "Hey, are you okay?" He's like, "Oh, I guess we should go to the hospital." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I think so," because he's like, it's really like debilitating. And we're just like, "Fuck!" All right, so like we get him up, put him in the fucking car, and he's just like coughing. On the way to the hospital, he has a heart attack in the fucking
Jesus
car,
Christ.
and then just like conks out.
Well, how do you know? How do you?
Because he's like dead. He's like sitting in the passenger seat, and he's
But what
like
happens?
face is blue. He just like seizes up and then just not
you,
there anymore.
Were you driving?
Yeah, I was driving the car to get him to the hospital at the time. and he just basically is out and gone. You just see him sitting there in the passenger seat. I'm like,
What do you even do? Like,
run
I'm
red
already
lights,
driving.
and, like swerve through traffic and shit. Like,
Wow,
it
you
was-
put the yields on? That's like a magic trick. Right?
yeah, that did. Everyone's like, oh no.
Yeah, he's got a place to be.
Fortunately, I mean, the hospital was only, I would say, 5-10 minutes away from his house or whatever.
Holy
So,
shit.
We just like swerving through traffic. We get him into the fucking ER, like pull him out of the car, and like the ER thing where the ambulance comes in. They pull him out, and it's just like
Do you call? How do they know? Like
they don't. We just show up in the ER and like we just pull him
like
out
honk
of the
the
car.
horn and
No, like we just pull up into the where the ambulance parks, wherever you're
Oh
not
my
supposed
God.
to park, and like people like come out of the hospital and like grab him and like we're trying to like keep him propped up, it's like what the fuck do you do, So we're trying to like keep him upright and stuff, but they're like no, let him down, you need blood or whatever, and it's like, and he's been out for like several minutes, so you're just
and
like
he's in the waiting room.
no, like they pull him out and put him on a
Okay,
stretcher
thank
immediately,
God.
like pull him into the ER or whatever, and
Like,
it's like me and my little brother.
You know,
and
there's
like,
some asshole in the waiting room who's like, excuse
excuse
me,
me, I was.
The splinter is going to extract itself.
Yeah.
I cut my finger on an ornament. Hello.
I'm feeling depressed. Hello.
Mike, I dropped a pint of whiskey.
I know.
Like a whole pint. We're not talking.
I mean,
it wasn't a
you
small
didn't get
bottle.
to drink any of it. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take him and me and my little brother in the fucking waiting room, and it's just like on Christmas Eve, and he's just in this hospital.
shit.
And it took like 2 to 3 weeks for this to get sorted out. He was blind for a while. Like I went to visit him. They had to life flight him out of Auburn into Sacramento. And I showed up one day. Like we did alternating shifts where it's like my little brother would visit him at night, and then I would go in the day, and we would like switch off and shit.
Holy God.
And it was just like I went in one day, and they're just like, he's like, "Hey, son, are you there?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he's like staring at the wall, and I'm just like, nobody told me. Like I showed up at and 12 hours later he was blind, and I was like, "What do you mean he's blind?" And it's like, he can't see. I'm like, "What happened?" Oh, he
That-
had
that
a
would be the
stroke.
definition
And I was
of
like, "No,
blind.
he had a stroke." Fucking awesome. And I'm just like,
Whoa.
and then it came back. Like after like a week or two, his vision came back. Fucking thank
How?
God.
And how do you? I hope his eyes were open when it happened.
He was. His eyes were fucking straight open. He's
Holy
staring at the
shit.
wall, and I'm just like.
He's like, guys, come in here. The wall's showing up.
Anyway, it was fucking terrible, and my little brother had to go back to the army like 2 days after it happened.
Oh, my
so it was just
God.
like cleanup crew shit where it was like, well, I guess I gotta. And it's like it's great too because when you're trying to cancel someone's like phone bill and shit, and they're technically dead, and you can't do that. They're like, well, we can't actually do it because you're not the name holder on the account. And I'm like. I actually like broke my phone. Like I threw it against like the wall of like the parking lot I was in. I was just like, 'cause it was,
Good God.
the worst. Anyway, that's the worst Christmas ever.
Holy
and
shit.
I can't imagine any Christmas worse than that. Knock on wood.
Well, if you can beat that, you can go to
Let us know in the comments.
lasertimepodcast.com and let us know in the comments. I normally like this to be a happy time, but I thought we'd do something different because I really feel like I love everybody who listens to the show. This is a fun time of year, and I feel like there's certain people who I am too saccharine on Christmas.
Chris, why didn't we do the best Christmases ever? That was my generic cartoon.
do we
Angel
have-
Tiny
voice.
Tim voice.
Do we have any best? That's Saturn even.
Brunswick
That's pretty good.
bowling.
I've had plenty of great Christmases, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like, that's the worst, but
Yeah.
I mean, every other Christmas I've had has been alright.
Well, I try and express that to people. Like when I became obsessed with it through my girlfriend, and we made that Christmas blog. It was sort of like, well, it is sort of like we're not Christians, and no one really cares about Jesus. But like, it is this weird time where like society forces you to be with your family,
Yes.
eat fun food, and give each other things. That's
Yeah.
kind of neat.
Chris,
It
you want to
is.
know what my worst Christmas is?
What's that?
Last year when you stopped doing updates for your Christmas website.
I did
Bring
update
it back.
I
Bring
did
it back.
No,
Bring
no,
it back.
No,
I
no,
think you
it's not.
described
CM
it
Punk.
best.
CM Punk.
yes.
Christmas Punk.
I think you described it best, Chris, once when you were espousing the wonderful qualities of Christmas to me, even though we're not Christian, and you were just like, it's the coldest, darkest time of year,
Yeah.
and everyone gets together and puts on a fire and watches cartoons together,
Yeah.
like, and eats a lot. How could that be bad?
Yeah, there's
Unless someone has a heart attack.
the best.
But even then, it's great.
The best Christmas special in that vein is the Fraggle Rock one, where because it's made by a bunch of fucking hippies, and Doc, who we lost this year, we lost Doc from Fraggle Rock. He died a couple weeks ago.
R.I.P.
Sprocket, look at the mail we've received. He explains it's the best explanation of why everybody cares about Christmas. It's the fucking equinox when everything's cold as shit and humanity was literally on the verge of death every year. So it started with the Yule log or the ashen faggot. which is a big thing of sticks.
Is that why you like Christmas so much that you can
Yeah.
just say that every year?
No, I love Ash and Faggots. I do. I love Ash and Faggots. I don't like Ash and Faggots bashers. That's for sure.
Yeah. They're the ones that knock the I don't know,
ash
dust.
off the log.
Yeah, the ash off of it. Yeah. Gotta
I
keep
also
that
forgot one note of my my sad story.
Oh God.
So between the shifts, my little brother before he took off, like he had a party with his friends, a very sad party naturally, but they showed up and drank in his house, and you know I came back from the hospital being there all day, and he like tagged out to go drive out to Sacramento and see him, and his friends all left, and I sat there and drank like a fucking handle of Jack Daniels and watched It's a Wonderful Life.
Did
And I was
you?
like, yeah, and I was like, this
Oh,
movie's
lovely.
fucking great.
Oh, lovely. I
And
bought it in
still
HD.
holds up, still good.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
I
it's very
love
good.
that movie so much. And we had that laser time of your oldest piece of comfort entertainment. That I think Citizen Kane may predate. No, it doesn't actually. No, it does. But It's a Wonderful Life I like even more, but I can't watch it anymore except around Christmas.
Right.
Weird to think that it bombed at the time. It's shot in like 2 weeks.
It's Frank
crazy.
Capra, right?
Yeah.
So did A Christmas Story.
Yeah, totally. Like,
And
but-
that's also I can never not watch that.
Yeah, I have to watch it at least once. But I hate my sister. Like, let's watch Christmas Story. Turns it on and like, but I didn't say fudge. I'm like, well, we have to wait an hour before it loops back around again. I can't just watch it from right now. We'll find good Christmas memories, good Christmas traditions. Does anybody have any before?
One that I thought was going to be the worst Christmas ever that turned into the best, sort of, is it would probably be like 1992. I remember being at a Toys R Us with my mom, and the TurboGrafx 16 had just been reduced to $60, and I begged. I saw it was $60. I'm like, oh my god, that's so cheap. Mom can get that for me for Christmas.
It comes with Blanc.
I know, and I the closest I ever went to throwing a tantrum was my mom telling me, "No, you're not getting this." And especially, like, it makes sense. Like, why would you buy your kid a present before Christmas and give it to him? It's not like that kid on The Simpsons where it's like, buy me a Bone Storm too.
Buy me too. I'm not sharing with Lauren. That's my sister's name. I projected a little bit.
So, just like threw a shit fit, probably annoyed my parents to no end. I don't know why they brought me to Toys R Us first of all.
Davy Rudden?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, why would they bring you to Toys R Us and like
Maybe they knew it and they just wanted to set the seeds because on Christmas Day we got a Super Nintendo, and it was
so your
just
parents did their fucking research.
Yeah,
Got
they
you
did
better
the
system.
opposite of yours.
That's
Because
probably
my parents loved me.
That's probably why they didn't get it for you because they knew they got you another system.
Yeah, so they probably relished it. Like, oh, he's fucking crying. He's gonna see the error of his ways next week when.
So in like October, November, did your parents ever do the bullshit thing of like, well, this is your Christmas present, you're not going to get
sometimes.
anything?
Yes, yeah.
My parents did, and I always like called their bluff, and
Yeah.
then it was totally accurate, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
no, we didn't get you. I told you that was your Christmas present. You wanted that thing,
And
we bought it for you.
But
and I
I'm
was
blind.
I never knew why. I never knew why I could call their bluff and that kind of horse shit. But can you imagine, like, if there's anybody under the age of 7 listening, this is your Christmas present. You don't get anything else.
Please turn it off and find a more appropriate podcast.
Yeah, you cunts. Are you really going to leave me empty-handed on Christmas Day underneath the tree next to my sister
Yeah,
and grandparents?
probably not.
No,
like I always
never.
got,
No, you're not.
always got stuff, but like when my sister got a bigger present,
Oh, yeah, that
and I
was
got
pretty
upset,
shitty.
I was just they're like, no, we told you, like this was your main Christmas present. I'm like, I thought I didn't.
Actually, if I can...
Your parents have a budget.
Yeah.
The dickish
They're
side of me-
adults. They have to stick to that.
The dickish side of me, I just got the job, I think, at Games Radar. And I'm just into games, and I'm into proselytizing games. And my sister's like, I have an interest in the DS, because Brain Age is supposed to help my brain. And I'm like, you want it for Christmas? And I literally went into a GameStop, and someone's like, I wanted to sell this DS so we could get a new one. And GameStop said, we'll give you 45 cents. And I was like, I'll give you $50 right now for that and all your games. And he's like, sir, you can't do that in the store. I'm like, we're doing it in the store. I'll give you $50 for, and I brokered a deal at the counter of a GameStop with someone being screwed over by GameStop, and it was awesome.
Nice.
And I bought my sister, I think, a DS with like 16 games for $75, and for like it was like 5 days before Christmas, and I'm like, And I can't afford that, really. Like that was like I was not making that much when I first started that job. I'm living in San Francisco, the most expensive place. I think at least the third most expensive city in the universe.
Not including Mars.
America, not including Mars or Pluto.
I have
that argument.
I have a best Christmas story.
Oh, but my sister, I'm like, you got to come correct. Because we don't normally get each other things that are near $100, and then I open up my present with the sticker still on it, the Incredible Mr. Limpet with a $2.99 sticker on it, the Don Knotts fish-based classic.
Yes.
And I'm like, and like to this day, like it was like 5 years ago. It's like, yeah, I'm never buying you anything. Fuck you. Fuck, I'll take you out to dinner or something. Like I'm never gonna. No, you really screwed me that year, and you made more money than me. Like,
dude, I'm always that guy with my siblings. Who I'm like, I got you a $20 gift card.
Yeah.
And then they get something super fucking thoughtful and expensive for me. Thank you. I feel like such a shithead.
Yeah.
But I have like 2 good Christmas stories, but one that turned bad. The one best Christmas story was my sister when she was in high school. She's 4 years older than me. So my older sister, in high school, her boyfriend was this Chinese guy whose family didn't celebrate Christmas, didn't even like give gifts for his birthday or anything. Like he never got gifts. That wasn't a thing. He got a little money for New Year's, but that was it. So we got him on DVD George of the Jungle because his name was George.
Wow.
So we were just like, his name's George. And we saw it, and we were like, okay, we'll get this in. And wrapped it. And it was the shittiest gift you could ever give someone. And he sat there Christmas morning, like we invited him to come over since we knew his family, didn't give a shit. He opened it. I swear he almost cried just from getting a present.
Wow.
Like it was the sweetest thing I ever saw. But then the years earlier, the one that turned bad was my sister and I spent months talking about how we could totally take care of a dog, and we got to get a dog. We want a dog. And Christmas morning, we got a dog.
Whoa!
A beautiful little border collie, which we named Sarah, a little puppy. And we had her for about like 5 months before she went completely insane.
Whoa.
And like so insane that she would run in like figure eights around the bushes in our yard for hours until she was like exhausted, almost like to the point of like needing medical care. Like she would just do that every night in the backyard. Run. She would run up and down our walls barking at the floorboards until we thought like maybe there's mice or something, but there were no mice. She would just do that. So one day my mom said, like Stanford wanted to study the dog.
Wow.
And my mom was like, well, we're not going to do that. And then just one day Sarah wasn't there. My mom was like, well, we took her back to the farm she was raised in. I was like, I was old enough to know what the code word was.
Whoa.
But like she was like an unstable
But were
dog.
even you like, yeah, it's probably good that Sarah's gone.
Yeah, because she was like hurting herself. Like she was running head first into walls sometimes, just like so angry at the wall. And we had no idea what was wrong, and like we took her to the vet a million times, and they couldn't figure it out. Like, okay, I still would like to believe to this day that like I know my mom did get her from a farm in Gilroy where they had puppies,
Garlic.
Yeah.
and garlic. I like to believe to this day that she went back to that farm and lived out a full and happy life. Don't ruin this, Mike. I saw that smile.
Is it too late for us to go to Gilroy and see her? How long ago is this?
No, she's not.
She's probably like,
No, it was long enough.
got 2 good years left.
We did have a dog like that actually as well. This is not Christmas related, but we had a dog named Sid, named after Sid Highwind of Final Fantasy VII fame.
Wow.
See?
Yeah, Rottweiler mix, and we had a choke chain for him. Big dog, huge dog, very big, way too big for my little brother to take care of, but he wanted to do it. He would take him for walks, and the dog would run and bolt and drag him because he could not stop the dog. The dog would carry him down hills, and then people would stop in cars and be like, "Are you okay?" Because they saw a boy get dragged like 600 to 700 feet by this dog frequently. And then we're like, "Okay, well, let's get him a choke chain." And we got him a choke chain, and the dog Sid would pull on the choke chain until he passed out.
Wow.
And after he passed out, you would like wake him up, and then he would do it immediately again and knock himself out again. And you were just like,
What the fuck?
Stop.
Wow.
Please stop. Please stop doing that. It makes me feel terrible seeing you unconscious and then waking up and knocking yourself out again. But yeah, anyway. And you would play with him underneath the thing, and the first thing he would do was leap on you, and he was a big dog. So I could play with him, but it was physically exhausting. Like, I would take my forearm and shove it into his mouth so he couldn't, like, playfully bite you, and I would have my mouth like against his jaw, like trying to choke him while he's attempting to knock me over, and it was just like, you're just too animal. You're too wild. I love you, but
Did you send him back?
he also took a trip back to Gilroy to live out the rest of his puppy life.
Oh man! All right. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Well, you wanted to talk about bad Christmases.
Those two dogs are at the front of Santa's sleigh.
Yeah, right up there with Rudolph.
Sarah and Sid.
But again,
Comet.
recommend something
it.
for people to do that's nice on Christmas, just as a palate cleanser that you do every Christmas. I play a bunch of portable games because I don't have my consoles with me, and it does help me focus on those a little more. Like I never like got as far as I did through Chrono Trigger than when I was just Christmas on the plane and.
My thing is, like, I know people talk a lot of shit about old people being redundant and telling crappy stories, and they do, but listen to old people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I really, like, the holidays are a great time to sit down with your grandma, your old aunt or uncle, and just talk to them and be like, tell me about not World War II necessarily, but tell me about what it was like and living, and they will tell you happily and love every minute of it, and all you have to do is listen. It's not hard.
The power is shifting to, like, there was a time when I would come back and tell tales from the big city because I was doing a bunch of interesting things. I am not doing that anymore. And now I go back and it's just people get older and they're having kids and they're getting married and they're not having interesting experiences either. And then it's like my dad's like, "No, don't go out tonight. Come hang out and we'll talk for a little bit." And like, it's weird to see that power shift. Like, yeah, I don't really want to go to the bar. I would rather hang home and talk. Like, have my
They
dad.
know more shit than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they lived through more stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, when they're gone, you're never going to be able to get those stories from them, which is another thing that I think is, like, sort of important. You know, like, my grandma talks, and she's told a lot of the same stories, but if you pick at her a bit, you'll get all kinds of cool shit. Like, she used to paint jukeboxes. Like, she painted jukeboxes as a job, like naked ladies on jukeboxes.
There's like
And it's
one person left who does that.
And, like, my grandpa, like, ran a weird meat packing plant in, like, Oakland. And then, like, when he moved here, he was here with his mom, who was a single mom back in, like, the 20s or the 10s. And he stole eggs from flea markets. But how did he steal them? He would sneak an egg out, punch a hole in the bottom of it with a pin, suck the egg out, and put the egg back in the flea market thing so they wouldn't know he had stolen it.
Would he swallow it or spit it into a new egg?
He would eat it.
Oh God!
Protein.
I just thought, and he went on to start Newegg. Cyber Monday.
If you want to get yourself a new PSU for your PC, you can thank him. I like craziest shit I learned from my grandma before she died is that she had a ticket for the Titanic.
Wow.
And didn't end up going.
Wow.
Because at the last minute, like, I guess they had a nanny for the kids, and they were really close to her. And she wasn't going to go on the trip, on the vacation, but then the last minute was like, you know, actually I'd like to go. And they were like, well, we don't have another ticket, so, you know, we'll sell these or whatever they did with them, and we'll do something else. And didn't go.
Wow.
Which, if they had, I guess I wouldn't be here, probably.
She's like the Seth MacFarlane of Titanic.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on a...
He was.
and she died at, like-
he got drunk and slept through the 9/11 flight.
I think she died at like 94, 90, like she knew so much. She lived through so much shit. Like that's why you gotta talk to old people. They know weird stuff.
I said the worst. I said the worst. We had a good experience during the funeral, the final funeral for my grandmother. And she was like lucid and like talkative and regular, this normal person up until like the moment she died of a heart attack and like collapsed on the floor. She's like on the phone with my mother or like, calling my mother, and then like my dad, his parents are both still alive, shattered hips and brains, can't walk, can't think, and we were getting drunk and we were eating my pot lollipops in Washington D.C. I'm eating pot lollipops with my parents and my fucking crazy right wing uncle.
Because you're both adults now. You're on the same level.
But with my second cousin, with his granddaughter, we're all like getting drunk and like with my family it was crazy. And then I just all of a sudden said, "Why couldn't it have been your parents?" And the room got silent. And then he's like, "Yeah, I know." And everybody was like, "Yeah, why couldn't it have been them instead of the one who could like feed herself and was still like fixing libraries? Instead, it's the ones who are like incontinent and."
I would say I'm on like a probably 2-decade plus streak of going with my mom and my younger siblings to Red Lobster.
Hey,
It's a thing
Cheddar
we do every
bacon
year,
biscuits.
and that's the only time I'll eat cheddar biscuits the entire year. And I love it, and I look forward to doing it again this year.
but it feels good, right?
Dave, you
It
want
does.
to maybe like get in like a Google Hangout and do that this year? I've been to Red Lobster once in my life, and that was the one year. Every year I would try to find an elaborate way to skip the Super Bowl. and that was the worst. Going to Red Lobster because they just played the Super Bowl in the Red Lobster. The best year was when I was like, well, one, it was to take mushrooms and go see Fantasia 2000 in San Augustine's World Golf Village.
Fair enough.
And second best was in like, we're gonna watch all the Oscar candidates instead of watching the football. And like, we want to watch football. I'm like, fine, but we have to be the sound off. And on the side, we're going to bring another TV in that'll play Brokeback Mountain and Pirates, the $1 million porno movie.
Excellent.
And that's what we will watch
Good.
next to the
Chris,
Super
now
Bowl.
we're veering into best and worst Super Bowl.
Whoa! I feel we should
We
shut
don't
this
know.
down. LaserTimePodcast.com. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Hopefully we'll have like a slightly detailed Christmas cartoon special Blu-ray guide that I had wrote for Cartoon Christmas last year. It's fairly in-depth. Most of it is copied over from that site with links to that site. But if you want to check out stuff about Christmas specials, that'd be the place to do it. Very revered.
I read a Doug Christmas special recap.
Exactly.
Look
One
that-
of
read
those.
that.
Did you write that?
Yeah.
Yeah, attaboy, Dave.
I don't know my
Attaboy.
name's on it, but it's okay. It's fine.
No, I
I
think
contracted some kid.
It's there somewhere. It was really hard doing that. I don't even remember how I did that. How did I write 2,000 words on 25 specials in 25 days? So I don't want to. I actually don't want anybody reading.
I remember
anything
you
over
being
there.
mad about it a lot, so
Yeah,
probably by pushing yourself too.
yeah, pushing myself too hard. And the 1 year I created Laser Time and decided to do that at the same time as having a full-time job and trying to live a normal life. It's
a lot of work.
Didn't work. Didn't work very well. Everybody hated me. Don't push yourself that hard, people. Have a nice Christmas. Relax. Play a portable game. A nice, quiet, portable game.
Drink with your family.
Drink with your
Shoot
family.
the shit. Forget about all the crap that you put up with them
yeah,
all year long.
Drinking with my family.
Have
That's good.
sex with
Great
someone
stuff.
20 years younger than
Yeah, do that too. Some girl that went to the same high school.
That
as
only
you.
applies to people 41 and up.
Correct.
32.
Ah.
Sorry, I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Also, quick, cool old person story. My uncle shot down twice in World War II. Survived.
Really?
Yeah, Air Force guy. Shot down during D-Day, and then after D-Day.
I don't hear as
That's
many,
some cool shit.
There should be people saying this more poignantly than me, but I keep saying this. Like, I grew up with World War II veterans. We're about to lose every single one of them. They're almost all gone. And they have those stories are the raddest if you can get them to tell you their World War II stories.
There's no moral ambiguity. The Nazis were wrong.
Well, but even like throwing up in your helmet and like landing like that shit, like it's unfathomable. Drones will fight our next wars. Nintendo missiles will fight the rest of it. Like it's it's insane to hear those stories, and they're all almost gone. The same people the way people Hollywood would jerk off over westerns and fucking Civil War stuff. Like, you're about to lose your connection to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still people out there
Meanwhile,
fighting on the ground.
Our
but
stories
yeah.
are going to be the saddest.
There are. I don't mean to say that they're not, but like that shit was. They're literally there are people literally fighting now rather than like holding territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like cattle for the slaughter, like that kind of shit. Like being on the ground for that. Like my grandfather was on the ground for that. Nuts.
You know what we're going to tell our grandkids? Like super lame stories like, I waited weeks for this one Simpsons episode to be on Fox, and I taped it. And then
I beat Bayonetta on hard mode.
I'm a veteran. I was in the Gulf War, and then I ate too many caramels and got cancer. But I'm living with it, 90 and bright. Just saying, it's not a cool war to hear about.
Anyway, Christmas holiday is generally great. We love them.
We should cherish them a little more. You get a little. It's like a little fucking reset button. You don't meditate, but you kind of do if you live the holidays right.
And I got all pissy about Christmas at the beginning of this show. But I will say all the running around. I actually like the driving around between family members and friends and whoever I have to go visit.
I love the emphasis on the no one in town thing, because I love like that. There's it's on YouTube, but the opening of the Charlton Heston movie Omega Man, based off the second I Am Legend movie, and he's driving around L.A. around E3, and it's completely abandoned. Like, how did you get those shots? And like, it was a Sunday on a holiday. Like, we didn't even have to clear the streets. There was nobody there. There was nobody there, and you can see that they shot an apocalyptic movie on a holiday.
That's what it's like.
Experience that. Go have fun for Christmas. LaserTimePodcast.com. I should have a a cartoon Christmas special, Blu-ray special up that I repurposed from the site. But you can go to our Cartoon Christmas if you want to see any of that stuff. There's like there's over 100 articles on Christmas specials over there. Holy shit!
And we have a Cartoon Chris in our house.
We do. We do. It'll be gone. Like my holiday tradition, I say this all the time because I like the way it sounds. I will watch Donald Duck cartoons till my fucking eyes bleed. That's what I do. But have a great Christmas. Thank you very much. We will see you